Memem days, 40b Mishnah. We're going to go cover ground. Okay. You have it? Okay. Kol mokin sheishmecha in kanas. Now, if you remember earlier, we had a machlokes or a man chachomim. When we speak about kanas, that if a person rapes a girl who's a virgin, is it only if she's from 12 to 12 and a half? She has to be a naro? That's Rameir's position. The chachom say no. From the age of 3 until 12 and a half, if a girl is raped, you pay kanas. Okay? Rameir says nara means nara. Nara is the 6-month period from 12 to 12 and a half. The chachom say nara means, because the word nara, when the Torah it's spelled deleted, the hay is deleted. So that indicates that even though she's not a full nara, she's less than a nara, that's also the law of kanas applies. We'll see. But the Mishnah is going like Rameir. Kol mokom sheish mecher. If you could sell your daughter, in kanas. Then if the girl's raped, one does not pay kanas. Kol mokom sheish kanas, and where there is kanas, meaning she's a nara, a mecher, you can't sell her any longer. Ketana yesh la mecher, a ketana minor you could sell, vein lo kanas. Nara yesh lo kanas, a nara where the law of kanas applies to, ein lo mecher. Habogeres, if she's fully mature, ein lo mecher lo kanas. You're not able to sell her, no kanas, which is only a nara. Omri b'domarav zudiv Rameir. The Mishnah, the anonymous Mishnah goes according to Rameir. Abul chacham omrim yesh lo kanas b'mokamecha, that even when you're able to sell your daughter, the law of kanas applies, because that even applies to a minor. The Tanya, as we learned in the Bryce, Ketano mibas yom echod v'ad shetovish teisaris yesh lo mecher. A minor, from the time she's born until she's 12, until she reaches puberty, you're able to sell her. Vein lo kanas. But there's no din knas. Shtei saros achti boger. But the moment she reaches puberty until she becomes fully mature, 6 months later, yesh lo knas vein lo mecher. Divrei Rameir. That's Rameir. Okay. Show you Rameir omer komok sheish mecher in knas. When you're able to sell your daughter, there's no knas. Komok sheish knas ein mecher. V'chachomim omrim, but the chum argue and they say no. Ketana bas gimel shonav yom echod achti boger, from the age of 3. Until she becomes a bogeres, yesh lo knas. Knas ein mechalo. Somewhere asks, knas? Does it mean only knas and you're not able to sell her? It's not true. From the age of 3 till the age of 12, a father could sell his daughter, right? Somewhere asks, what do you mean yesh lo knas? Knas ein mechalo. Lo eimo af knas. That not only knas, it means in addition to being able to sell her, there is also knas. Av knas moka mecher. Omer Reb Chizda, my time Rameir. What's the basis for the argument? What does Rameir say? Knas only applies to the girl between the age of 12 and 12 and a half. And the Chum say even from the age of 3 onwards, even though she's a minor, Ketano. Omar Krov v'losia liisho. B'mahava atzma kosim medaber. It says, what happens if you rape a woman? The Torah says, she shall be your wife. That means she has to be mature. She has to be old enough. She has to have halachic intelligence. Before 12, she can't. Right? She has to be able to marry herself off. So before the age of 12, she can't marry herself off because she's a minor. Excuse me, Rabbanon. So what did Rabbanon say? It says naro. The word naro is written deleted. The hay is missing. Torah deletes it. Afilu katana b'mashma. Yeah? That even if she's a minor, katana being written choser alludes that even if she's less than 12. Shomer Rav Papa, Breder Rav Chanon, Bar Bibei Kluchis. So Rav Papa, the son of Rav Chanon, who came from a location called Bei Kluchis, Ozal Omro Kami to Rav Sim Barashi. He went and said over where the mayor said, where Rish Lok said before Rav Sim Barashi. Omar Lei, he said to Rav Papa, Atu Nahom Astisan Lo. This discussion over here about Nara being written deleted, you've learned it applies to Machus Remain the Chachomim. We apply it to something else. This person goes, father marries off a katano, and then after she commits adultery, father says, the husband says, I found she was not a virgin. And he brings witnesses she wasn't a virgin. So it says, potter, shenemar v'nos lavi naro. So he doesn't pay the knas, and also he doesn't pay the knas. Of course, it says in the pasuk, who does he give the money to? V'nosno Lavian Naro. He pays the money, the penalty, to the father of the Naro. But if she's a minor, there's no naro. Right? Nara molek, dibra kosuf. It says she has to be a naro. By Shemer, naro is written full. It's written with the heg. Dibra kosuf, maskor ravad baravo, the time it costs for Rachman and naro. I mean, the reason why you don't pay knas says naro in its full spelling. Holav hochi hava mina afilu ktano. But if not that, I would thought even a ktano you pay penalty. Voksiv, the pasuk says v'im emes hoyad dover. It says factually, if it's true she did commit adultery. What does it say in the pasuk regarding this nara moroso? It says v'im emes hoyad dover v'ol nibsu b'sulim lenaro v'otzias hanaro pesach beisovi saklua. You take her out to the pesach, to the entrance of a father's household, and you stone her. But if it's a ktano la pasonchini. But if she's a minor, what's even the consideration? What do I need of naro to tell me she has to be an adult, even without naro? I know she has to be an adult because it says she's put to death. If she's not an adult, she's not. Elakan naro. So the answer is, the pshat is this. Here, naro that's written is full spelling. Naro means a 12-year-old. To teach us everywhere else where it's written deleted, it means even a minor. Hokol mokshinim a naro. I feel tanabim mashma. So by the Chachamim hold, by a rape, by ma'anis, since nara is written deleted, it tells me that if a girl is raped from the age of 3 onward, although she's not 12 years old, the rapist has to pay the knas. Okay. She's an adult? Yeah. Okay, now we're going to discuss the discussion. The Torah says, if I come, I say, I owe you $100. I say, go on record, I owe you $100. And the witnesses, I owe you $100. That's known as Hodos Baldin Kemedim Domi. If I admit that I owe you money, I'm bound to my word. What about if I say, I owe you knas? I say, let's say, I raped your daughter. Right? So that means he's saying he has to pay what? He has to pay knas. The Torah says the knas could only be imposed upon a person, only the bezdin could. If it's self-incrimination, you cannot, although it's a monetary payment, but since it's penalty, it's not restitution, you're not believed. If it's considered restitution, like payment of a loan or damages, or let's say you're repaying a stolen item, that's money, you're believed. But if it's knas, because it says in Torah, Asher Yashuin Elohim, only when the bezdin finds you guilty, but not a person who incriminates himself, and the basis for the decision is the person himself. You're not believed. So that we'll give the Mishnah discusses cases. Homer petisi is bito shel ploni. Person comes to bezdin. He says, I seduced so and so's daughter when she was 12 years old. So normally, what does mefata pay? He pays 50 shkolim. But in addition to that, we pay boshus ubegam, mishalim boshus ubegam al piazza and mishalim kanas. Due to his admission, he pays embarrassment and pagam that he damaged her, but kanas he doesn't pay. Why? Because kanas only the bezdin could be mechayiv, karabli and kanas. Omer gon nafti, a person who steals, he has to pay principal plus kefil, which is a penalty. Man comes to bezdin, har omer gon nafti, I stole from you $100. Mishalim es hakeren, you pay the principal. Al pi atzmo, through his own admission. Ve mishalim tashlumi kefil, the tashlumi abar of chamisha. But double payment, which normally a thief, if he's caught by witnesses, testify, he has to pay. Or let's say he steals a goat or a sheep or an ox, we pay dal vei. You pay principal, but you don't pay dal vei because that's penalty. Hamish shori es ploni. A person comes to court and says, my ox killed so-and-so. Oh, shori shor ploni, who killed so-and-so's ox. Hariza mishal piatz, because that's restitution. He's a damager, right? Hamish shori avdo shel ploni. What about, now the Torah says whether a slave is worth $1 or worth $10,000. If one's ox kills that slave, what do you have to pay? It says you have to pay 30 shkolim to the owner. That's the maximum and the minimum. Whether the slave is worthless or the slave is worth a fortune. The Torah says that's penalty. There's no restitution. So what is that? So if you admit, my ox killed your slave, Evet Kanani, Hamish shori avdu shel ploni imishalma piatzmo. Zaklal. What's the principle? Kol hamishalim yeser al mashe hizik. A person who has to pay more than he actually damaged in a mishalim piatzmo, because that's clear, that's penalty. Why should you pay more than its restitution? Shouldn't have to pay more. So the slave, whether he's worth nothing or worth a fortune, you always pay. You pay even more than he's worth. That clearly tells you what is it. It's penalty. That have to be double 3 or 4 times, 4 or 5 times. It's clear that's penalty. And Mishalma Piazzos. Now the Gemara has a question. The Mishnah says, a man comes, he says, I seduced, right, his daughter. So it says, Bosh's Begam you pay, because that's money, that's restitution. But the 50 shkolim he doesn't pay. So Gemara has a question for listening on Nasti. What was the Mishnah pick on the case of what? Of where he seduced her. What does the Mishnah speak about a case where he said, I raped her? Rape, same thing. Be the same thing. What do we have to open before? Listening on Nasti, lo mi boy come. Lo mi boy, on Nasti, the local pogim le the Mishali. Bosh's Begam. A man says, I raped the girl. Does that reflect negatively on the girl? She wasn't a willing participant. So it's not they'll say, she's a flirt, she has no ethics, no morals. Right? They're not going to say she's a loose woman. So to say, since when I say on Nasti, it doesn't reflect negatively on the girl, that's more simple. It's understood he's believed regarding Bosh's Begam. Avo PTC to kopogim lay. Lo, but when he says I seduced her, I mean she was a willing participant in the act. Emolo mishalam pia. Maybe he shouldn't, because it's equivalent like a chaval acherim, because it reflects negatively on the girl. Maybe I shouldn't believe him. Kamash Malon, that you do believe him, that even though there's a negative reflection on the girl, you believe him. Mastis lo ki aitano. He says our Mishnah doesn't go like this. Tana, the Tanya, Reb Shimon Yehuda Omer. Listen to this. Mishum Reb Shimon. Reb Shimon and Yehuda says name Reb Shimon. Abosh Begam Eino Mishalim Al Piatzmo. If he says I seduced her, we don't believe him. Even on Bosh Begam, even on embarrassment and on what? On physical diminishment. Why? Local Hemni Shifko Bitu Shalploni. I mean, has he have a right to what? To say something negatively about a woman's morals, the way she behaves. What about if she doesn't mind? She says it's okay. Let the man pay. Maybe a father. She may be okay. She couldn't care what people say about her. But what does the father think about it? This is not a Yiddish nachas over here. Right? Somewhere says, let the father says, something for money, it's okay. Let the man pay. He may not care. What about the family? The family says, well, look what kind of member we have in the family. This is what she's about. What about nechel b'nei mishpocha? What about if the family doesn't mind? Because they're all similar to that. There's somebody related to the family, inevitably, that they're opposed to it. So since the admission is something which brings about a negative effect on somebody in the family, therefore you're not believed. No. You pay nothing. The court doesn't accept it. This is Reb Shimon Yehuda. That's not our Mishnah. Our Mishnah says he is believed. See, there's halacha. This is similar to. What about if I make? Let's say I have an asset, and I owe a person money, and the man has proof I have money. Now I make a statement that the item I have belongs to a third party. Am I believed? Normally, if I would say this item belongs to so and so, I'm believed. But if I say this item belongs to a third party where I have a creditor, so by saying I belongs to the third party, that means the creditor has nowhere to collect from. Everybody agrees you're not believed there. That's called chav lachrini. Since that admission is a detriment. No. Let's say to collect an asset. You borrowed $100, and the creditors come to collect this $100, and the item is worth $100. It's but this item belongs to someone else. He's not believed, because that admission causes that the creditor has nowhere to collect from. It's a detriment to the creditor. Nobody argues it, but we're discussing a new case here. What about if the admission causes embarrassment? So the detriment doesn't manifest itself in the monetary payment, but it just doesn't reflect well on the family. Do I believe you? Do you have a right? You besmirch the family. Our Tanakh says he's believed. He is believed. But in terms of Reb Shimon Yehuda says no, he's not believed. Any negative reflection on anyone, Torah doesn't believe the person. Okay? What? No, both of them. So you go and you embarrass a person. You have to pay the person you embarrassed. Well, No, to the girl, there's an embarrassment. You embarrassed the girl, right? You seduced her. She was virgin. Now through a seduction, you caused her this disgrace, right? So it's a Mishnah. Boshes b'gam you pay. Rav Shimon Yehuda says you pay nothing. He's not believed. Okay, further. You're okay, Howard? Yeah. No, seriously, you understand? It's not. Okay, good. Yeah, but still, how does it look? What does it say about the girl? How did she allow herself to be seduced? It's not a nachas. It's not a nachas. Okay, but you still pay, Mishnah says you still pay boshes. You still pay boshes because he initiated it. He initiated the seduction. You know, in secular law, there's a thing called statutory rape. A person has relations with a girl before I think she's 17. It's considered a rape. But she was willing. The answer is because he victimized her. Even though she's not. I mean, she's an adult. But yeah, but therefore the same thing. So there's boshes. You pay boshes. You caused her a disgrace through your seduction. You caused her a disgrace, so you pay boshes, embarrassment. That's understood. She's a victim. No, but you don't. No, you don't. But you don't pay knas there. That's a separate penalty. He doesn't pay. No, you can't. Through your own admission, you're not obligated to pay knas. Knas has to come through the court. The court cannot incriminate himself to bring penalty upon himself. Only restitution. Not because they know the mitzvah rush. Not because they know the mitzvah. Pays embarrassment, damages. Boshes begam. Not penalty. Penalty he doesn't pay. No, because you believe him. He has to pay boshes begam. Person says, I stole. Do you believe me stole? You believe me stole. And I don't mitzvah Russia. The answer is he's believed. The Torah says he's believed. This is because Asher Yeshin Elohim. In regard to Kanas, the court has to convict him. It cannot come through your own admission to be convicted for penalty. That's what Torah says. Okay? Person says, Omer go nafti mishal mezakir. Person says, I stole, you pay the principal. Now, let's understand something. Itmar. Now we have a shiloh. What about, what's the halacha? A tam, an animal which hasn't been established as a gora. It goras. What's the halacha? Torah says you pay chatzi nezek. Only 50% liability. That 50% liability, is that a monetary payment or is that penalty? It's a machlok samurai. It's a machlokas. Is palga niska mamono or is it knosa or is it kanas? If it's mamon, so through your own admission you'll be believed, right? Because the person is believed. But chatzi nezek, you pay to the victim, to the damagee. My ox goes and gores somebody else's ox. My ox is a tam. So now I go to court, did no witness. I admit my animal gored this other person's animal. You have to pay 50% of the value. So if you're of the opinion it's mamona, that the Gemara will explain what the basis for argument is, that it's a monetary payment, because it's restitution, then you're believed. But if it's really you owe nothing, it's only the Torah penalizes you on penalty, you're not believed through your self-admission. We'll see. Itmar. Palganiska Rapapa, Palganiska Mamona. Rapap says when you pay the 50%, it's mamon, it's restitution. Rafuna Braid Ribshuama, Palganiska Kanosa. When you don't pay the full amount, it's kanas. Rapapa Palganiska Mamona. Why does Rapapa say that when you pay Chatzi Nezek? Why is it restitution? Ksovastam Shram Labkeske Shimur Kaimi. He holds the average ox is not a docile ox. Yeah, it's not docile. Really, you should have unlimited liability. But the Torah is rachmanus on him, because the animal hasn't yet been established as a gora. Why does the person have to pay damages for his animal? Because you should have been, you failed as a custodian of the ox, right? What about, even though the reality of the ox is, the average ox is a gora, but the average person, because it hasn't been established that, in his mindset, he feels he's watching it sufficiently. The Torah therefore absolves you. that every ox is docile. Yeah, as a chazok, it's docile. It's in a protected because it naturally does not gore. Ubedin hu delo sham klal, and truthfully, that you shouldn't pay at all whatsoever. For achmanu dekansei, the Torah penalizes you. Why? The Torah wants you to be extra vigilant. So for the extra vigilance, Torah only penalizes you 50%. Okay, so we have machlokas. The 50% you pay by atam. A non-gora goes in gores. Do you pay 50%? Everybody pay 50%, Torah says. But is that restitution or is that kanas? What's the halachic difference? Admission. If you admit that you're chatzi nezek, are you believed? If it's mamon, you're believed. It's kanas, you're not believed. Okay, let's see it inside. Tanan. Ha-nizik va-mazik. Here? The nizik. The nizik is the damagee, the mazik is the damager. You got it? B'tashlumim. We speak about tashlumim. The nizik is tashlumim, and the mazik is tashlumim. The payer pays tashlumim, restitution, and the damagee receives tashlumim, restitution. So now we have a problem. If you say the 50% you pay by a tam is a monetary payment, so the nizik, the damagee, has relevance to tashlumim. He's only being paid 50% of what he has a right to receive. Really, he should receive 100%. The Torah gives the damager a 50% discount. So the nizik is what? Is losing. He's losing 50% of what he rightfully has. But if you say the 50% he receives, really, the damager should pay nothing. Right? Now that he's received 50%, he doesn't even have a right to the 50%. But tashlum miseg, so you're going to tell me he's taking a 50% hit? What do you have to say? He's taking a 50% loss. You don't even deserve the 50% that you're receiving. We're not talking about that. I'll tell you, palka niskas can also. Really, the 50% you receive is a bonus. The damagee. It's a bonus. So what does it mean? He's taking a loss. It's a Mishnah. It says tashlumi nezek. What does it mean tashlumi nezek? Malamed. Let's say after the damage takes place. Now, let's say the carcass now deteriorates. Who takes that loss? That loss is taken by the damagee. That's it. Regardless, that's taken by the damagees. That's malamed shabalim mitabim nevelo. So we see, that's what it means. But so what do we need? We have two Mishnayos. We have the Mishnah say that the loss, the monetary loss, is to the damagee, and again it says damagee. What do we need two Mishnayos to tell me that if the animal deteriorates in its value, and he takes a loss because of the original goring, who takes that hit? The damagee, right? No. We answered. The 50% immediately pays is no argument. Knas or that definitely is money. It's a monetary loss, right? Monetary loss. So he says chad b'tam v'chad b'muad. One, we need one bright. What happens if the animal was a tam? The gora was a tam, or let's say the gora was an already an established gora. Tzricha, I need both. I would say the reason why the damager doesn't take any loss because it wasn't yet established as a gora. So who takes the full loss of the carcass? The damagee. But by where the animal was established as a gora, I'd say the damagee doesn't take the loss. I take the damager should take the loss. I'd say, you know why the damagee, he pays everything, right? This full payment. Right, but you don't. So I say, therefore you need both. It says in the Mishnah, what is the difference between a non-established gora and an established gora? When you pay the chatzi nezek, that's you take it out of the animal. So let's say you have an animal worth $100 gores a $10,000 animal. Yep. An animal that's worth $1,000 gores a $10,000 animal. He only pays chatzi nezek on the animal that was killed. So a $10,000 animal, So the halacha is it's limited to the damager. Even though the owner of the animal could be worth millions of dollars, you don't get more than the value of that animal. It's chatzi nezik of the damager. So that means you take the full damager. You take the full damager because you'd only collect it from the body of the damager. It's not a down. We're talking about animals.
No, I'm saying that the value
No, that's
the value is the same. It's not the
maximum value. You get maximum. Let's say you have the damager, the animal that cores, is worth $10,000, and what's his name is worth $10,000. The one that it gores, right? Now what do you get? You get 50. You get $5,000 in the 10,000 of the gora. If the gora is worth 100 and the animal that's killed is worth 10,000, the damagee is out. Almost all his money, right? He gets $100. That's it. Doesn't get more than that. Okay? Ma bein tam l'mod shatam mishalm chatzi nezik begufo umod mishalm nezik sholem min aliyah, mean from the assets of the damager, the one who owned the damager. So the question is, look, Tony shatam ein mishalm piatzmo umod mishalm piatzmo. Want to make seemingly if you palgan this is kanos, if it's kanas, it should make another differentiation here. That if it's chatzi nezik, right, then if self-admission, you're not believed. But if it's muad, where it's restitution, then you are believed. Why isn't that mentioned in the Mishnah? We're trying to show difference between a muad and a tam. Tam is chatzi nezek migufo. Muad you collect wherever the man has an asset. No. If it's a gora, it's an established gora. Everything, right? Wherever you're able to collect from, you collect. But it should say another difference between muad and tam. Tam, if you admit, you're not believed because it's knas. Right? But muad, which is it's a monetary payment, it's restitution, you are believed. So evidently, since it doesn't mention that difference, it tells you that what? The chatzi nezik is momon. That's right. So it's the proof, which is not the case. It's not kanas. So this should be a refutation on the position that it's kanas. In fact, we rule it's kanas. We rule it's kanas. Right? You follow me? Is not penalty. If it's penalty, we should have made that discernment between tam and muad. Right? If it's knas, if you admit that your animal gored, you're not believed. Nothing. And if it's muad, you are believed. So what does it say? Make that difference. We're trying to discern between A and B. One discernment is A and B. There's one. It stops there. We have another discernment. But it doesn't say there's another discernment. So evidently that tells you that what? The chatzi nezek is momon. Because that's not a difference between the two of them. Right? It's Gemara's question. Tana v'shayir. Gemara says the Tana doesn't list all the differences. But if you say there are multiple differences, the Tana is not going to give you a laundry list. But let's say he lists a different, there's only one other difference. One other difference he would mention. So that's Gemara's question. Tana v'shayir. What else is there to leave out besides this? And since there's nothing else to leave out besides this, he should have mentioned it. So Gemara asks, Tana v'shayir, my shayir, the high shayir. You mean to say he left out, when he chose to leave out, this is the one he left out. But if this is the only other discernment between the tam and muad, he should have mentioned it. On that Shayach Hatzi Kofer. The Torah says if a gora kills a human being, for your personal atonement, you have to pay the value of the one who was killed. The person who was killed. What about if it's a tam that kills a human being? Just as you say you pay Chatzi Nezek, so maybe you should pay Chatzi Kofer, pay 50% of the person's value. Right? Doesn't say that. Right? Chatzi Kofer. So Mar says, that's not a shear. Why? Because when it's money, Rabbi Yossi Galili, Domatam Mishalon Chatzi Kofer. Rabbi Yossi Galili holds that Tam does pay Chatzi Kofer. Yeah, he does pay Chatzi Kofer. So that's the question. Is there another case that was left out, or is there not another case that was left out? It says, by the time it says, Balashor Noki. Rashi brings the pasuk. What does Noki mean? You're vindicated. You're free. You don't pay Chatzi Ka'ab Chatzi Kofer. Okay. It's called a Rebbe Shaglili. No, Matam Mishal Chatzi Kofer. Yeah. Toshma. Hamish Shori is Ploni. Here, person comes to testify in court. My ox killed so and so. Oshoro shel Ploni. Who killed his ox? My ox killed the person. Killed an ox. Hareza Mishal Mapiyatzmo. It says you pay. And the Mishnah, what we're quoting now, it doesn't differentiate whether it was a gora or non-gora. So you see the person's believed. My love, betam. It's seemingly speaking that even a tam. And it says you pay. So you see clearly it's momon and not kanas. Because if it would be kanas, you wouldn't be believed. Right? You're following? A man comes to court, he says, my ox killed a person, my ox killed an ox. It says he's believed through his own admission. The Mishnah we're quoting now doesn't differentiate whether it's a tam or a muad. So even tam you believed. If it's kanas, how could you be believed? So evidently, you see that it's momon. And that answer is no. There's no proof that it's speaking about a tam. It's speaking about a muad. By a gora, everybody agrees it's a monetary admission. Okay. Aratoni Sefer Avdo Shel Ploni in Misham Piatzmo. Here, it concludes. What about if he says my ox killed so and so slave? So it says he's not believed. He's not believed. A slave, the 30 shkolim you pay, definitely is kanas. So the Gemara asks, Niflik v'nisbidido. What do we have to give another case of the slave? Let's talk about the ox, whether it's a gor ox or a non-gor ox. If you hold that Chatzi Nezek's momon, so the example you have to give where he's not believed is the slave, right? But according to Rebbe Shua, who holds Chatzi Nezek is kenoso, right? Yeah, Ravun Rebbe Yeshua. The Chatzi Nezek's kanas. Why don't we make that differentiation? If the animal's a gora, that's when he's believed. But if it's a non-gora, he's not believed, right? Let me get the place again. No, the whole price is talking about muad. Toshma, Zaklal. The Mishnah says, if you pay more than you actually damaged, because that clearly tells you that what? It's kanas. What's the difference? If you pay more, you're not believed, but it seems to be less. You will be believed. What's less? Less it's Chatzi Nezek. So you see clearly from the Mishnah, the Chatzi Nezek is momon. Hapochs mashi hizik, mishalem piatzmo. Lo tema hapochs mashi hizik. Don't follow the inference. If it's more, you don't pay. But if it's the equivalent of what you mazik, you do pay. But if it's less, you don't pay. Listening zaklal koshe in mishalim kamoshe izik and mishalim piatzmo. So if that's the case, let it say in the Mishnah, if you don't pay exactly what you damaged, right, then you don't pay. What does it speak specifically more, right? The mash pochos, mash mi yeser. Two of those, it seems to be, it's a refutation. So if since the Mishnah is only when you pay more, not when you pay less, so that would be an indication of what? What is, when you pay less, what is that? That's momon. It's momon. It's only when you pay more is it kanas. So it's a refutation. Hilsa. What's the conclusion of the Gemara? Hilsa, palgin isko, kenoso. Yeah, this. We just said it's a refutation from the Mishnah. Then it says, so what's the halacha? The halacha is Chatzi Nezek is kanas. Someone says, Tiyufta v'hilsa. We just asked the refutation, right? And now you tell me we rule Chatzi Nezek is kanas. In time of my itoisif. What's the basis why you asked the question? Mishum luktoni kamosh izik. Because it doesn't say as much as you damage. Lopsikalei. The answer is, you know why it doesn't say that? Because you have a case of Chatzi Nezek, which everybody agrees it's mammon. Howard, what is the case? You have a case where even Chatzi Nezek, even Rav Hun Bar Bishu agrees it's momon. What is the case? Stop. Meaning like this. What's the halacha if a person goes and he throws something and breaks something? Take a stone, I throw it through your window. What is it? Full liability?
Yeah.
Why?
Why? Because he's a damager.
Why? Why is he a damager? The stone broke the window.
But it's his, what did you say, the flow, his energy?
No, because it's koach.
Koach.
Because his power is behind the stone.
Yeah.
What about if an animal's walking and it kicks a stone? Kicks a stone and the stone goes and breaks something. Are you liable or not? No. The halacha is...
It does. It's a mental thing that he picks up stones.
So therefore what? But it's koach. Maybe koach is only by a human being, not by an animal. Right? So there's halacha m'shinai that you pay 50%. And that you pay 50% is momon. Really, you should pay full. But it's unavoidable. Right? So the Torah gives you 50% reduction. It's not. Everybody agrees. Chatzi nezeh, tzroros is momon, chatzi nezeh. So the Mishnah could have said, when you pay less, it's also kanas. Because I have a case when you pay less, chatzi nezek is what? Is kanas, with animal gores. But you have another case, chatzi nezek, by tzroros, where the animal kicks up the stones, it's chatzi nezek, everybody agrees there, that's lochel mishmashina, that's momon. As therefore, the Tana, when he speaks about kanas, which is definitely kanas, it's when you pay more, not when you pay less. Because you have a case when you pay less, that it's momon, it's not kanas. No, therefore, no. But when an animal gores, when it's a tam, we rule halacha, that's knas. But so what does he say? Whatever you pay, not only more is a knas when you pay less, because I have one instance when you're paying less, it's momon, it's not knas. The case of tzroros, where the animal kicks the stone. Okay, good. Now, Nagramok's application is this. Now that we've ruled the chatzi nezek knas, haikal b'dochel emri. You hear this? A dog goes and eats a sheep. It's unusual behavior. It's not the norm, right? V'shun drochel targoli ravri, or a cat kills a large rooster, right? Mishunu. It's considered unusual behavior. That's kanas. Lo vagmir and lebe bovel, and the court cannot rule. Why? Because in bovel, the only person who can rule kanas, you have to be a somuch. You have to have certain level of ordination. People of that ordination were only in Eretz Yisrael, not in Bavel. So the Bezdin in Bavel cannot rule on that, because that's knas. That's not restitution. Wait. Avu zutri, what about if the cat would either kill a small chicken, right? That's not considered unusual behavior, right? Then, umagvinon, you could collect. V'tofus lo mafkinim alei. What happens if he goes and seizes? So there's an argument in Rashi and Tosas. Did he seize the damager, or he seized the money, the payment? V'tofus lo magvinim alei. You don't take it away from him. V'oma akvi li zimno l'Eretz Yisrael. Man says, the damager says, you know something? I want to go to Eretz Yisrael to get a ruling. Magvinim alei. Vilo osil, and let's say the damager doesn't want to go. Mishamtina alei. You put him in chayrim. Put him in chayrim. The court in Bavel puts him into chayrim. We can't rule, so what are you putting it over on the guy? Here he wants to summon you to B'ter Tzol to be able to collect. You're not going? We put you in chayrim. Benkach or benkach, mishamtin alei. But in either case, the amrina lei selek hazikoch. Here we say, but we're talking about the cats here and the dogs here. What do you do? What's the in secular law? If a bear goes and kills a human being, or a lion kills in the zoo, and what do? They kill the animal. An animal that kills has to be eliminated. So they say to the person, regarding the payment, we'll talk about later. We want you to give over the mazik. We have to kill it. We want to kill that animal. The dog is a dangerous dog, and what? And the cat's a dangerous cat, right? This cat killed the large. This is abnormal behavior, okay? And if he doesn't want to give it over, you know what you do with him? You put him into chayrim. You put the owner of the damager into chayrim. Where do we know this from? The Reb Nosson, the Tanya, Reb Nosson Omer, Minayin Shlo Yigad Lodom Kelev Rabbesof Beso. How to know a person should not raise a vicious dog in his house, an attack dog? V'lo yamed sulam rubis obesa. You shouldn't put a shaky ladder in your house. Shenema lo sosim domim b'veisecha. Don't allow blood to be shed in your household. Same thing. That's the pasuk. For lo sosim, you should not. Having that vicious dog, having that weak, that shaky ladder, ultimately it's going to bring bloodshed. The same thing we say to the man whose cat killed the large chicken or large rooster, or the dog that killed the sheep. This is vicious. Either give it over or you're going to be a cherem. Hajjan Allah, Elu Narish Hajjalon, Narshis is Patso. Now we're going to do a Nara who was seduced. You going? You don't have the next. Runs out okay. Narshis is Patso, a Nara who was seduced. Boshto, Pagomo, Kenosa, Shalavio. Right? The boshes, the embarrassment, the diminishment, and the penalty belong to the father. Torah says, give it to the father. So what if she's raped? There's an additional payment. Pain. He raped her, there's pain. Omdo bedin achlo mesov. What happens if the court gave a ruling before the father died? Father was alive, they gave a ruling. Harein shalov. Yeah, it belongs to the father. Even though today, she's already beyond, what's his name? They gave a ruling when she was in Nara, and today she's 16 years old. Belongs to the father. Mesa of, what happens if the father dies? Rei Shalachin, it's part of the estate. Lo espiko lamad bidin achemesa of. What about the father died before she took the seducer to court? And the court rules. Harein shalatzma. They pay what? They pay her. She gets the kanas. Om the bedin achlo bogro. What about if she went to court before she became fully mature? Harein shalav. Right? That belongs to the father. Mesa av harein shalachin. Lo espika lamad bedin ache bogra. What about before they were able to take the seducer to court? She became fully mature. Harein shalatzma. Reb Shimon omeim lo hispika ligvos ache mesa av. If she, although the court ruled she wasn't able to collect until the father died, harein shalatzma, she gets a maseh. Yodeo mitziosa pishlo gobso. What about her maseh yodeo? She had earnings, or she found a lost article. Apishlo, even though she didn't collect her wages yet. You hear this? Her father, she worked. The wages would have gone to the father. The father dies. Now who gets the wages? Her brothers or herself? Harein shalachin. It goes to the fathers, even though she didn't collect. Why? Because they belong to the father. The moment you earn the wages, see, by knas, there has to be a ruling of the court. Until the court rules on the knas, there's no knas.
It goes to the estate.
It belongs to the estate. That was earned because already it was owed to the father. Okay, we'll continue tomorrow.